First impressions of spring practice?
Guys are into it. They're enthusiastic. They're working hard to learn their assignments, learn their techniques. Very pleased with their attitude, their effort that they're giving every day. We've got a long way to go, but I like the start that we're off to.
How have you felt about the intensity of your other coaches in the defensive rooms?
I really like our staff. You know, some of these guys I worked with before, some of them it's first time, but I think they've got everybody on our staff has a really good football mind. You know, we're growing together as we work through the installs and work in the spring, and certainly that'll continue. But I'm glad to go to work with those guys every day. It's been a lot of fun.
Since you've been to several different places in a short time frame, I guess you're used to doing this. And I was curious, since you haven't brought like an entire defensive staff, you're obviously coaching the players, but how much have you also coached the coaches, and what is that like with other veteran coaches?
Well, first thing I would say is I've had opportunities to move around, work with some different guys. It's been great for my development as a coach because I always learn from guys that I work with, and hopefully that's a two-way street. I do think that you know, there's a adjustment period. Any scheme that you're in, whether it's the scheme that we're running or a different scheme, when it's new to you, you got to learn maybe some different alignments, some different techniques, different ways of communicating systematically in terms of verbiage and all that kind of stuff. And our guys are doing that right now. But I think that, you know, like I said, we've got some coaches that are, I think, really good football coaches, understand the game, understand leverage, understand techniques, and those things apply from system to system. You just got to get up to speed on, hey, we play this a little bit different in this style of play and so forth. But I think our staff will continue to grow the more time we spend together. I'm excited about that, and I think we're off to a good start.
I can't remember if, when we talked to you in December, I don't remember if y'all had made the hires yet of Coach Green and Coach Tichy. So I don't remember if we asked you about them, but your just relationship and your background with those two coaches in particular.
I don't think we had, I'm pretty sure we had not hired either one of those gentlemen. You know, Coach Tichy, I go back with him a long time. He was a coach when I was playing at Wofford College in South Carolina. He was the defensive line coach there for a long time. And he's an outstanding coach, outstanding person. To have his experience on our staff is invaluable to everybody on our staff. And just, you know, he's seen over the years so many of the things and issues and knows what the adjustments are. So I'm drawing on his experience as the rest of our guys are as well. So that's been an extremely positive impact, and very fired up to have him here. Coach Green, I actually coached Coach Green at Wofford as well for one season, and then gave him an opportunity, or was part of bringing him to Wofford as an assistant my last year there as defensive coordinator. Then we worked together at Tulane in 2023, and so this is our third stop together. He is outstanding, very smart, does a great job teaching, knows this system, and has a lot of experience as well. So, you know, you've got Jack Tichy, who's got a ton of experience with what we're doing up front, and then you've got Rob Green with a ton of experience with what we're doing in the back end. And that is a great asset to our players, to our staff, to our program, and they're both great people and great family men. So it's exciting for me to have those guys here, certainly.
And y'all were really all a part of Coach Woody's tree. Is that accurate to say?
It is accurate to say. And so it's a system that the three of us have been in at different stops and in different ways for a long time. And that system, I've benefited from being in that system. And you know, you continue to evolve things and develop stuff as you go through time. But that system, it was a unique place to be. When I was at Wofford as a player and as a coach, because you had a head coach there that was there as the head coach for 30 years, and you had other assistants like Jack, like Nate Woody, that were there for an awful long time. And so the continuity of the staff, the ability to evolve things with the same staff members year to year, solve problems, see different schemes that are trying to attack you, that was a really neat and pretty unique situation to be in. And certainly I wouldn't be standing here today if I hadn't had that experience.
You've only been on the field, obviously, I guess, for two practices now, but any impression of any defensive personnel in particular, talking about players in terms of who's kind of setting a tone for you, energy-wise or anything like that?
I think we've got guys at every level of the defense that are leaders or are emerging leaders. I think we've got guys at every level of the defense that are playmakers. And, you know, when you start up front, we're going to play a 3-4. We're also going to play a 4 down. We'll be multiple. But when you're in a 3-4, you better have a nose guard that can be dominant. And I believe that we've got a guy and a couple of guys that can be that. Lee Hunter's doing an outstanding job at nose force. Jaden Cofield as well. You know, the second level, we've got a first team Big 12 All Conference and Jacob Rodriguez. He's doing a great job. You can see quickly why he was a first team linebacker last year. When you get around him, you see him move on the field, and he's doing some really good things. We've got other guys in that room, you know, and then I think in the back end, we've got a couple of guys at safety, Cole that's here, and Bryce Pollock that's here, Mo Horn, you know, and we've got some young guys. You know, BJ is playing strong safety for us, has played a lot of reps. He's a really smart football player, has made a lot of plays. So I'm leaving guys out, but just some names that pop up off the top of my head that I've been impressed with so far. Romello Height at dog for us with his get off has been very impressive to me so far as well.
Can you describe that dog position?
Yep, it's a boundary outside linebacker. So he's going to be part of the front. He'll rush at times. He'll play the run, you know, as part of the front, and then also play coverage in different pass drops. But probably be a guy that's a little bit, you know, off the edge a little bit more, and hopefully in our system, a guy that can rush the passer really well and can also, you know, run with the tight end or carry it back out of the backfield. So that's a position where we need a guy that's pretty versatile. And if we can get a really explosive athlete over there, that helps us out a ton.
Time for a couple more.
How is this team, as you get to know them and as they get to know you, feel what your expectations of the defense are and what you need it to be?
You know, we kind of went through some goals right now. I think, yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head. We're growing, you know. So right now we're just trying to teach, you know, scheme, alignment. Where do I put my eyes? How do I play certain techniques and fundamentals? You know, but I would say as we're getting to know each other, the one thing that we're really trying to get off to a great start on is becoming the brand, you know, the toughest, the hardest working, the most competitive, and setting a standard in terms of the effort that we prepare and practice with every day. Even if we're lined up wrong or going the wrong way, at times that's going to happen, but we can still run to the ball and do that at a really high level. So we're challenging each other to do that every day. And when we get to look at the tape from practice, that's our resume, you know, what's on that film. And we want to set a standard and a habit of pursuing the football really hard.
So what is those expectations of the standard in comparison to previous places you've coached?
I would say for me, very similar, you know. Coach McGuire, as our head coach and leader, certainly has his, you know, things that he prioritizes for our entire football team. But I think those things align with the, you know, the background that I have really. And so very similar with what I'm doing right now with what I've experienced doing at other stops along the way as well.
So how does it feel to be having this offense as part of your team rather than going up against it?
They are fast. They challenge you in terms of making you defend all parts of the field, the run, the pass, the run-pass conflict. They've got the ability to stress you out in the techniques you're playing, and so that's fun for us as players and coaches to get to compete against that every day. And we've got some really good players in terms of offensive personnel, so we're getting to see guys that can do stuff at a really high level. And you know, certainly that's a great test for us, and that's something to get excited about to compete against every day.
You mentioned a moment ago, like Lee Hunter at nose guard. Your other defensive tackle, what technique does he play? Like a 3 or 4?
Both.
Both.
Yep.
3
so the tackle position for us will be a guy that'll play a 4 technique some, and then he'll play in the A gap. He'll play in the B gap. You know, we'll move those guys around. We'll give those guys up front multiple alignments and techniques to play, whether that's nose, in, tackle.
Now,
whatever.
which players kind of suit that position best? Do you think it's more of a 3 or 4?
In terms of body type, or
Yeah, in other words, if you line up Lee Hunter at another, like a 0 or 1, who would be, what players are more suited for a 3 or 4?
like Skylar Gill Howard, AJ Holmes, those guys would be our kind of body type of tackle, if that makes sense to you.
Yep.
Braylon Rigsby is playing in force right now, but he maybe played that position on the team last year here in their version of it. So that's kind of what we look at.